If you're in the market for a 100% electric vehicle with third row seating and style of a crossover SUV, there's really not a whole lot of choices out there, but luckily one of the few choices is an awesome choice, and I think probably one of the best choices that there could be anyways, the Model X. The Model X came out in the 2016 model year. It's a mid-size third row crossover SUV that's completely battery electric from the electric vehicle gurus themselves, Tesla. Tesla's been making electric vehicles since, was it around 2008, 2010, we had the Tesla Roadster. So they have a head start in a lot of battery technology. They were one of the first car companies to do over-the-air updates in the Model S when it came out in 2012. And still to this day in the 2020s, there's a lot of other manufacturers that struggle doing over-the-air updates where Tesla's just a master of it. I have a lot of experience myself. At Infiniti of Tacoma, we do great with Teslas in our pre-owned inventory, so we always have a great selection of pre-owned Teslas. We've had probably hundreds of them over the last couple of years. I own a Tesla myself. And as a used car manager, I often, take Teslas to service for various issues and reasons. And so I have a lot of experience with Teslas, servicing Teslas and stuff like that. And they're fantastic vehicles, and in fact, they're pretty low maintenance. A lot of times, let's take a look at this. This is a 2020, 23,000 miles on it. So I just got this from my service department. They inspected it, and they didn't recommend anything because there's no oil to change, there's no transmissions to service, no differentials to service. It's a pretty low maintenance vehicle. And if you maybe compare this to gas-powered, high-end European luxury vehicles, almost every time you go to the service department, they're trying to upsell you. Oh, you need to do a fuel system service, or an EFI service, or you should do a brake flush, or we should put nitrogen in your tires. That's not the case with the service of Teslas. The servicing is very minimal because this is a vehicle that's not very complex as far as moving parts go. A gas car has thousands of moving parts, where this has dozens, and there's no oil to leak, no coolant to replace or flush. There's no timing belts or timing chains to replace, no spark plugs. As far as servicing goes, for a luxury vehicle, I think that's one thing that people don't really look at. They look at, how much money I'm going to save versus a gas car versus electricity, which you'll save a lot. But on top of that, you'll save a lot in service because, if you compare this to, the gas cars it competes with, expensive like, BMW X5s, X7s, Mercedes, GLEs and GLSs. Sometimes when you go to the service department, you can walk out of there spending $1,500 just for like a 30,000 mile service. Don't take my word for it. Do some research. I'm sure you'll come to the same conclusion yourself. So what we have here is a Model X Long Range Plus. It's a 2020, 22,964 miles. This has a fully charged range of about 320 miles. But with Teslas and most vehicles with lithium-ion batteries, they don't recommend you charge 100% all the time, so you can use the slider here to control the state of charge. For daily use, they recommend charging it to 80-90% just for the long-term health of the battery. And then every once in a while on a road trip, it's okay to charge it to 100%. That's why range matters, so the longer the range of a vehicle is, the more usable range you'll have. So even though the fully charged range is 320 miles or so, which you can't always use all the time, even 80 or 90% of 320 miles is still a lot of range, especially for most people who probably only drive 30, 40, 50 miles a day at the most. So you can control the rate of charge here. You can also use your phone. This has an amazing app, and that's another thing where Tesla's excelling at, is their mobile app. We're constantly every month getting updates on the app, on the car. It's gaining features. You can adjust the climate control settings. So what I like to do is I like to heat up the car, warm up the car right before I leave, especially on a cold day, or if it's like completely frozen, I can put the defroster on and thaw the car out. So it's completely thawed out by the time I'm ready to go, all from my phone. Someone else has a car, you can see where it is. You can also use the app to find nearby supercharging. That's another perk of Tesla, is their amazing supercharging network. You can purchase upgrades through the app. You can do all your services, you chat with service, pay through service, all that stuff. We actually recently did a service appointment they're actually asking me to share my feedback, but I could see the progress and everything of the service, what they were doing to it through the app on my phone. I can communicate with the service advisor right through the app. Amazingly easy. So very easy. You can also use your phone as a key. You can use it to unlock and lock the car. You can even remotely do it. Actually, you know, sometimes if I'm at home, someone will call me, a salesperson will call me, hey, can you open this Tesla up for me? I'll do it with my phone. Hey, can you start the car? I hit start, and that starts the car right there, all from my phone remotely. I don't know of any other car you can really do that with. It's, like I said, it's amazing. Look at this big windshield here. Look at this visibility. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I've been lucky. I don't own a Model X. I own a Model 3, but I've been lucky enough to, you know, drive a Model X. My dad's in the business. He likes Teslas. He had a Model X demo recently when I came to visit him. So the family was driving around. I got a chance to drive the Model X a lot, and it is just an absolute pleasure to drive. Unlike the 3RY, which is a little bit more of a simpler vehicle, this has an adjustable air suspension. This is full on luxury, and look at all this data you have regarding the suspension. It's almost data overload. You can adjust the settings: comfort, auto, sport, and advanced. You can hide that suspension data if it's kind of making your head hurt. You have autopilot, which is traffic aware cruise control, which allows the vehicle to brake and accelerate and steer in its own lane. It's what we call level 2 autonomy. So, you know, you need to keep your hand on the wheel and pay attention. But when you have the autopilot on and you're cruising and stop and go traffic or cruising along the highway, the car is driving, you're just paying attention. And I can't tell you how big of a mental workload it takes off of you to have the car do that stuff for you. I'm so spoiled by it now. If I have to run errands for the dealership and I'm not driving my own car, you know, why put wear and tear in my car if I'm doing work? I'm going to take a work car. A lot of times I'll take a Tesla of autopilot because I'm not spoiled. You can use this to adjust the seats. You can set lighting preferences. So this whole screen is kind of like an iPad. You can get used to it. You just kind of play around with it, and it's pretty intuitive. You can find all the different menus and stuff. You have a great thing like if the car's at a stop, you're charging, or maybe you have a family member in the market. You're waiting in the car with the kids. You can watch Netflix, Hulu. You can play video games. Then you have the toy box where you have the silly things, you know, like the whoopee cushions, and some of the things are silly. Some of them are actually pretty functional, and they're always adding things with the over-the-air updates. They're always adding features and improving things. You have these amazing Google Maps that come with premium connectivity, and you also have a little bit more of a higher-end vehicle. Like the 3 and Y are pretty sparse as far as the interior goes. This has beautiful wood trim. You have leather and stitching in the dashboard, suede-like material in the headliner. You know, power adjustable steering wheel. This is definitely more upscale than the Model Y, which is more of an entry-level luxury vehicle. And the Y is also smaller as well. You have the automatic opening doors and closed doors. You can even set up the preferences so you can just walk up to the vehicle and the door will open for you automatically without you having to touch anything. With these amazing Falcon wing doors, you have easy access to the interior. They have sensors on them, so don't worry about parking too close to a vehicle. They'll open differently depending how close another vehicle is parked to you. And it has sensors too, so you won't hit the top of your garage or anything like that. You have nice power adjustable second row captain's chairs. And the third row seats are pretty spacious as well. You can use this button right there to allow for access, or you can just access the seats, third row seats, through the middle. There's a number of ways. You have buttons here to open and close the doors. There's a button on the screen, on the front screen right there, or there's a button right here to close the Falcon wing door. Lots of storage back here, additional storage underneath. You can fold the third row seats fairly flat. The second row seats in this one don't fold flat because of the captain's chairs. It's really easy to open the doors as well. You just hit the button, the door handle. Well, it's another way to open it, and it opens and closes pretty fast. So this is not the fastest Model X in 2020. There's a performance version. This is a long range plus, but as far as performance goes, this thing is no slouch itself. 0 to 60, 4.5 seconds, top speed 155 miles an hour. Very fast indeed. Okay, since normally in most vehicles you have an engine here, this is an EV, so no engine. You have more cargo space. That's a lot of space right there. It's also a safety feature. You have all this space here to absorb cross energy in a frontal collision. You have a crumple zone that's probably about 60% larger than most other vehicles with an engine in the front of it. These are very, very safe vehicles. The weight of the batteries being so low not only gives it sports car-like handling, but it actually gives it one of the lowest rollover risks out of any SUV you can buy. Very, very safe, very fast, and very, very advanced. I am amazed by the Model X. We've sold lots of them. They ride beautifully, especially with the air suspension. You have a very comfortable interior. You have amazing visibility with that gigantic windshield. And it looks quite unlike anything else on the road. Obviously, Tesla, they were thinking their own design language of developing the X. There's nothing even close to this that I can think of, except maybe another Tesla that looks anything like this. Absolutely stunning vehicle. Come and check it out. I think you'll be very impressed, and thanks for taking the time today to watch this video.